This is what Becky did last night, and in this video I'm going to break down how I coloured these 3 different types of flowers in this colouring page. Let's get to it. Here's a quick reminder of the colour chart that I've been using for this colouring page, and it's number 92 from the Colour Cube catalogue. So in the previous videos you've seen how I've brought in the greens, the reds for the ruby, and the leaves have been also tied in with the red and the purple. So watch my tutorial on how I did those leaves if you want to know how to do that. These colour cubes are great, so if you want to link to those, there's a link in my description so you can take a look at those. At this point I pulled out my orange blend trio, which is going to be brown ochre for the darkest, terracotta for the mid shade, and cadmium orange for the light shade. And those are the 3 colours that I picked out to match the orange on my colour chart, on my colour palette. But I've decided, so I'm almost about to go in with this. Ignore what I'm about to do. There's going to be some thinking. And I've decided that I'm actually going to bring in one of the yellow shades that I have for the yellow side of the colour palette. And that is the light cadmium yellow. Since we know that orange is going to blend nicely into yellow anyway, so we'll get that a nice sharpened point. And then using that yellow, I'm going to go over all of the petals on those daisies. So nice light shade first, not too much pressure because we want to build the colour up. And because I know that I want the centres to end up being yellow as well, so my plan was for the petals to be more orangey and the centre to be more yellow. So very easily I'm just going to colour over the entire flower, including the little stray petal that's drifting off there, and give the entire flower a nice coat of yellow. And then I'll repeat this process on all of the other flowers that I want in this colour too. I'm now going in with the darker colour here, which is the brown ochre. And I'm focusing on the center of each of those petals, any cast shadows underneath the petal in front of it, and then blending that out with the mid shade, which was the terracotta. This is all still with light pressure because I'm going to go in with more layers afterwards. And now I'm blending with the cadmium orange just a little bit further each time. So a little bit of overlapping and a little bit of pulling that colour out towards the edges, and that will be blended out again shortly with the light cadmium yellow again. So now the first layer has been done, I'm going round for my second layer of exactly the same process. So I'm starting with brown ochre, hitting all those shaded areas, using more pressure on this second time through, starting in the center, starting underneath the car shadows and shading that towards the center of the petal. and then working back through all 4 colours. So that goes brown ochre, terracotta, cadmium orange, and then light cadmium yellow. And that's the petals for our first flower completed. I'm just going to bring in a little gentle touch of the black Polychromo here. During this double page spread, whenever I've wanted to introduce shadows, I have been using a bit of black. So I'm just carrying on with that. And it's just a very gentle touch just to try and lift those top layer petals off from the back a little bit more. And that's wonderful. Okay, so we're going to now do the center of the flowers in the yellow blend. And for this yellow blend, I've gone with green gold for the dark shade, dark cadmium yellow as the mid, and light cadmium yellow that we've already used as the light. And for these centers, I'm just going to go dark to light, going from around each of those little circles and blend those colors through, and I'll get 1 or 2 layers before that's burnished in. So nice and simple. Then for a little extra touch, I'm going in with my Posca white pen and just doing a few little white dots on each of those circles. That's the first flower type finished on this page. So I'm going to have a look at those little tiny ones that we've got hiding in the foliage at the bottom. And I'm going to do a 3-color blend again. I'm going back to my oranges. So I'm going to start with the brown ochre as the darkest shade, starting close to the center of the flower and going down the center of the petal. Again, light pressure. They're only tiny, but I'm still going to try and get 2 layers out of this. Once I'm done with the brown ochre, I'm going to jump down to terracotta and then back down to cadmium orange to give me a 3-color blend on all of those petals on the tiny flowers. And for the centres, I've just gone back to the red blend that I use with my Derwent Softs on the rubies, and I'm going Cranberry on the outside, just a quick circle on the centres of the flowers, then Scarlett to blend that slightly more to the middle, and now here you see me going in with the soft pink just to blend that all in. They're very tiny, so you're not going to be spending too much time on those. And then just a little bit of detail, bit of white work with the white Posca pen, going over the center of those petals just to give them a little bit more interest because they are so tiny. And for the last flower type here, I'm going with my purple blend. So these are my Derwent Softs. We've got Blackberry, purple, and pale lavender for the 3-color blend. And just like before, I'm going to start with a nice light pressure, darkish shade first, doing all the car shadow areas and the center of those petals. And what I'm going to do, because we have a bit more space on those petals, is I'm going to use the artist lines to guide me in creating some sort of fold shading. So for petals like this that have got a lot more movement, think about coloring in something like clothing or fabric where you want to get those folds in. So you want that darker shade at the crease and blend that out as well. Once I've done the first layer with the Blackberry, I'll then do the same process as before, stepping through to purple, so overlapping where I've already shaded and drawing that out into the lighter area, and finishing with the pale lavender. So that's the first pass done with my light pressure. So this is going to be the second pass through, increasing the pressure, deepening up all those lovely colours. Also, it's the second pass that you can start to refine any shading that you weren't too happy with the first pass. Because you've done that in a nice light layer, you can be quite forgiving. So at this stage, I quite liked how much contrast I had with the tips being much lighter. So I'm just taking my white Polychromos and I'm just burnishing now the edges of the leaves, sorry, the edges of the petals in white. That will blend things in, it will lighten it up a little bit, but it will get it nicely burnished without adding more colour. And then the final step to make these petals look a little bit more realistic is I've just gone back to the Blackberry colour and I'm just doing little flicks to get the cute little lines that you get on flowers like lilies. And it just gives it a little bit more interest, makes it a little bit more organic. And like the other flowers, I'm just adding some little Posca dots again to give it a little bit more texture. And so for the center of these flowers, we're going to go back in with the orange blend. So this is the cadmium orange, and I'm trying to hit the darker parts of those stamens. And this is the light cadmium yellow, just blending that all in. And that's the flower. And just to finish off this section on the florals, I'm taking my dark green pencil from Polychromos that I used on the leaves, which is green yellowish, and my brown black from Derwent Coloursoft, just because those are colours that I've already used in this piece. And I'm just going around the little buds and colouring those leaves in. So again, small area, so only 2 colours needed, and I'll just get some shading and form to those, and then all of our flowers are finished. I hope this video's been helpful for you. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I've put links in the description for anything that I've used in this video. There'll also be a link to the entire speed art version of the whole double spread, so you can see the whole page in action as well. And thanks for watching.